Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the stories shaping our world, often uncovering truths hidden just beneath the surface. Today, we're talking about a story that sounds like it's straight out of a spy thriller, but it's very real, and it has profound implications for global power dynamics, especially in Africa. Imagine this. Late at night, when most of the world was fast asleep, something truly unusual stirred in the heart of Africa. The skies above Burkina Faso were calm, the streets were quiet, and the moon, a silent witness, hung low over the horizon. But deep inside a secluded airfield, lights flickered and figures moved with a very clear purpose. Trucks rolled in quietly, their headlights dimmed, and heavy containers, marked with foreign symbols, were carefully offloaded. Now, according to several eyewitnesses and whispers echoing through diplomatic corridors, these weren't just ordinary cargo containers. No. They were carrying something far more powerful, rockets, allegedly shipped in from China under the cover of darkness. Now, before we go any further, it's crucial to understand why this would even happen, and what it could possibly mean for a nation like Burkina Faso. In recent years, this small West African country has been undergoing an incredible transformation, led by its young and dynamic leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Once largely known for its struggle against terrorism and widespread poverty, Burkina Faso has been taking bold, decisive steps towards self-reliance, actively breaking old alliances, and resolutely refusing to bow to foreign influence. But here's the thing: independence doesn't come cheap, and defending that hard-won sovereignty takes real strength, specifically military strength. And that, my friends, is precisely where China enters this fascinating narrative. For decades now, China has been quietly, yet steadily, expanding its reach across the African continent. But not through traditional colonization or overt warfare. Instead, their strategy has been much more subtle and insidious. Through business, through massive investments, and through cutting-edge technology. Chinese engineers have built impressive roads, critical railways, modern hospitals, and even entire industrial zones in dozens of African countries. It's an undeniable presence. But behind this seemingly friendly and economically beneficial image, there often lies a deeper, more calculated layer of strategy. China understands profoundly that influence in Africa isn't just about building schools or supplying mobile phones. It's about strategically shaping the future of global power itself. And if these recent reports hold true, China may have just made one of its most daring moves yet by secretly supplying Burkina Faso with advanced rocket systems. So, let's ponder this for a moment. Why at midnight? Why such intense secrecy? The timing and the clandestine nature of this operation strongly suggest that this was absolutely not meant to be seen, not meant to be widely publicized. A deal of this magnitude involving advanced weaponry could easily ruffle a lot of feathers across the globe, especially among Western nations who for a very long time have considered Africa to be firmly within their traditional sphere of influence. Sending rockets to a country like Burkina Faso, which has very recently and very publicly distanced itself from those same Western powers, could be interpreted as a direct challenge, a bold statement against the old global order. And doing it under the pale moonlight, far away from prying cameras and watchful satellites, fits perfectly into the sophisticated playbook of quiet strategic power plays. But let us just pause here for a moment and try to view this situation from Burkina Faso's perspective. This nation has been surrounded by conflicts for years, constantly fighting off ruthless insurgents and extremist groups that have brutally torn apart neighboring regions, spilling instability across its borders. Its young, vibrant population has grown understandably tired of empty promises and the endless cycle of dependency. They've begun demanding real sovereignty, not just the kind written on paper, but actual tangible control over their own destiny. For a country that is genuinely trying to stand on its own 2 feet, having modern, robust defense systems could very well be a matter of sheer survival. And if their traditional allies refuse to provide these essential tools for national security, looking elsewhere, seeking out new partners, might not just be an option, it might be the only viable path left. The relationship between China and Burkina Faso hasn't always been this close, this deeply intertwined. In fact, just a few short years ago, Burkina Faso maintained strong diplomatic ties with Taiwan. But in 2018, that all changed dramatically. The nation cut its ties with Taipei and formally reconnected with Beijing, a move that effectively opened wide the door for massive economic and, significantly, military cooperation. Since that pivotal shift, the Chinese presence in the country has grown quietly but visibly. We've seen new infrastructure projects transforming the landscape, vibrant cultural exchanges fostering new connections, and increasingly, security collaborations aimed at bolstering Burkina Faso's defense capabilities. So, this alleged rocket shipment, while certainly shocking in its implications, actually fits quite neatly into this broader, evolving pattern of deepening ties between the two nations. Let's imagine, just for a moment, the scene at that secluded airstrip. A handful of local soldiers, their breath misting in the cool night air, guarding the perimeter with unwavering vigilance. A small group of Chinese technicians, speaking softly among themselves, expertly coordinating the meticulous offload operation. Containers are carefully opened, one by one, slowly revealing sleek metallic shapes, wrapped cautiously under thick protective covers. Every movement is precise, every order followed without hesitation or question. There's no fanfare, no loud engines roaring, just the quiet hum of distant machinery and the almost inaudible whisper of the wind sweeping across the tarmac. And somewhere in the distance, a young Burkinabe soldier looks up at the moonlit sky, perhaps wondering if what he was witnessing right then will one day fundamentally change his country, as fate altering the course of its history forever. These are the kinds of moments that history rarely records with grand pronouncements. They are the quiet, in-between spaces where alliances subtly shift, where new powers tentatively take form. Maybe this midnight delivery was simply one small part of a much larger, pre-existing defense agreement. Perhaps it was merely a test, a trial run for something bigger. Or maybe, and this is truly the most intriguing possibility, it was something much, much bigger. A powerful symbolic manifestation of a new global partnership taking shape right under the world's very nose. For many in the West, news like this undoubtedly feels unsettling. The very idea of China supplying sophisticated weapons to an African country that was once firmly under Western military influence shakes deeply entrenched assumptions about who truly holds power and influence on the African continent. But for countless Africans who have felt exploited, ignored, or simply used as pawns for generations, it's a profoundly different story. They often see new opportunities emerging, new potential allies, and perhaps for the very first time, a genuine sense that the global balance of power might finally be shifting in a direction that benefits them. Of course, at this precise moment, no one can definitively confirm exactly what those mysterious containers held. Some speculate they were advanced communication satellites, critical for modern defense. Others adamantly insist they were sophisticated missiles, precisely designed for national defense. The truth, as is often the case, may lie somewhere nuanced in between these possibilities. But the undeniable fact that such significant activity even took place has ignited a potent wave of curiosity and, frankly, considerable concern across the globe. Governments worldwide are now watching closely, their diplomatic antennae raised. Intelligence agencies are meticulously analyzing every available satellite image. And leading analysts are fervently debating whether this incident marks the true beginning of an entirely new chapter in Africa's military evolution, or perhaps the start of something far more unpredictable and potentially volatile. But here's what truly makes this story so utterly fascinating. It's not just about weapons, and it's certainly not just about abstract geopolitics. At its heart, it's fundamentally about trust. It's about how two nations from vastly different worlds find common ground, often shrouded in secrecy. It's about how power is no longer exclusively displayed through open, declared wars, but increasingly through quiet, strategic deals made in the shadowy corners of the night. It's about the kind of world we are rapidly heading into. A world where long-standing alliances are shifting faster than ever before, and where smaller, often overlooked nations like Burkina Faso are no longer willing to stay silent, or remain weak, or simply be dictated to. And there's something almost strangely poetic about it all, isn't there? The vivid image of rockets arriving under a moonlit sky, unseen by most of the world, destined for a land once written off as powerless and insignificant. It's almost cinematic, the profound silence before a potential storm of monumental change. Whether this midnight maneuver was ultimately an act of profound friendship or cunning strategy, it tells us one thing with absolute certainty: the world is changing in ways that most people don't yet fully comprehend, don't yet truly see. And somewhere in the beating heart of Africa, under that same silent moon, a new power might just be awakening, ready to reshape its own destiny and perhaps the global landscape. This isn't just another news story, it's a glimpse into the future. If you found this story as captivating and thought-provoking as we did, don't just scroll away. Become a part of our growing community of curious minds who seek to understand the deeper currents of global events. Please, take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button to stay ahead of the critical stories shaping our world. Give this video a big thumbs up if you love uncovering these kinds of hidden truths, and most importantly, share your own thoughts and insights in the comments section below. What do you think this means for Burkina Faso, for China, and for the world? Your voice helps us dig deeper, bring you more exclusive insights, and keep powerful untold stories like this alive. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.